Nearly perfect is a dangerous phrase in the SUV world because it makes people stop thinking. They hear experts agree and assume the decision is done. But here's the truth. An SUV can score high in rankings and still be the wrong choice for your life. And another SUV can be boring on paper, but feel like the smartest purchase you've made in years. So in this video, we're doing nearly perfect the correct way. Not just which SUVs look good in a chart, but which ones are nearly perfect in the real world. Powertrain smoothness, usable space, safety tech that doesn't annoy you, fuel economy that actually saves you money, and an ownership experience that stays calm after the first month. And I'm going to tell you something up front that most lists won't. Nearly perfect doesn't mean flawless. It means the trade-offs are so small that most owners can live with them happily. It means the vehicle does what it promises day after day without turning into a source of stress. This top 7 is built around what experts and tests consistently reward: cohesive engineering, strong hybrid systems where it matters, confident drivetrains, and interiors that feel like they were designed for humans, not just for a showroom. Stay to the end, because my number 1 pick is the SUV that keeps winning comparisons for one simple reason. It's the rare vehicle that feels smart and satisfying at the same time. And if you want breakdowns like this that protect your money and your future regret level, subscribe, because you're watching Royer Motors. Number 7, Honda Pilot 2026, the family SUV that feels finished. If you need a real 3-row SUV, nearly perfect starts with one question. Does it feel like it was built to handle real family life? Or does it feel like a big box that happens to have extra seats? The Pilot 2026 earns its spot because it's one of the most complete mainstream 3-row packages, comfortable, predictable, and engineered to be easy to live with. Mechanically, Honda keeps it simple and strong. A 3.5-liter V6 making 285 horsepower and 262 lb-ft of torque, paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission. That matters because in this segment, smooth shifting and clean throttle response are the difference between "I trust this" and "this feels busy." And here's a value detail that becomes a lifestyle detail: towing. The Pilot 2026 can tow up to 5,000 pounds when properly equipped on AWD models, while front-wheel drive versions are typically rated lower. That's enough for small boats, lightweight campers, or weekend toys, without buying a body-on-frame SUV that drinks fuel like it's a hobby. But nearly perfect isn't just about numbers. The Pilot's real advantage is that it feels sorted. The driving position is natural, the cabin tends to feel practical instead of complicated, and for a lot of owners, it nails the daily comfort piece that makes you keep a vehicle longer. Because trading early is the #1 destroyer of value. Now I'm going to be honest, the Pilot isn't trying to be the sportiest SUV. You don't buy this for sharp corner carving. You buy it because it feels like a calm, capable family tool that doesn't punish you with weird behaviors. If you've got a family, road trips, carpools, and you want a 3-row that's easy to recommend without making excuses, the Pilot 2026 is one of the safest, nearly perfect picks you can make. 6. Hyundai Tucson Hybrid 2026, the hybrid that feels more expensive. The Tucson Hybrid 2026 makes this list for one reason. It delivers a hybrid driving experience that feels smooth, confident, and premium for the money, without forcing you into luxury pricing. Under the hood, it uses a turbocharged 1.6-liter 4-cylinder paired with an electric motor, making 231 combined horsepower and about 258 lb-ft of torque. And here's a huge reason it feels good in daily driving. Power goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission, and the hybrid models come with standard all-wheel drive. That combination is underrated. Many buyers don't realize how much the transmission affects the quality feeling of a hybrid. Some hybrid systems feel rubbery when you accelerate hard. The Tucson Hybrid's 6-speed automatic helps it feel more natural, especially in stop-and-go traffic and highway merges. The torque hits early, the SUV moves with less effort, and you don't get that constant engine flare sensation some people hate. And this is why it's nearly perfect in tests. It doesn't just save fuel, it makes daily driving feel easier. That's the kind of benefit you notice every day, not just on paper. Now, the trade-off is simple. If you care about resale value above everything, Toyota and Honda often win that story. But if you care about the experience you actually feel, the punch, the smoothness, the modern cabin vibe, the Tucson Hybrid can feel like the better deal while you're the owner. So if you want a compact hybrid SUV that feels stronger than it looks on the spec sheet, the Tucson Hybrid 2026 is one of the best I got more than I paid for SUVs you can buy. Number 5. Subaru Forester 2026. The confidence SUV. Some SUVs earn nearly perfect because they're flashy. The Forester 2026 earns it because it makes people relax. This is the SUV that consistently wins trust in the real world. Rain, steep roads, uneven pavement, bad weather commutes. Places where drivers don't want excitement, they want stability. Mechanically, the Forester 2026 uses a 2.5-liter Subaru Boxer Flat 4, producing 180 horsepower and 178 lb-ft of torque, paired with a CVT. On paper, that doesn't sound thrilling. In reality, it's tuned for predictability and traction confidence, and that's the point. Subaru's AWD identity is baked into the vehicle's personality. Fuel economy is also part of why experts keep it high on lists. Many trims are rated around 26 mpg city and 33 mpg highway, which is strong for an AWD-focused compact SUV. Now let's talk about the version that turns the Forester from practical into seriously capable, the Forester Wilderness 2026. This one brings 9.3 inches of ground clearance and can tow up to 3,500 pounds, while other trims are typically rated lower. That tells you Subaru is not just selling an image. There's actual hardware and rating behind the capability story. Here's the honest trade-off. If you want strong acceleration, the Forester won't be your favorite. It's not built to feel fast, but if you want the SUV that feels stable, sensible, and hard to regret, especially if your roads and weather aren't always perfect, Forester 2026 is a nearly perfect tool. Number 4. Lexus NX Hybrid 2026. The quiet luxury sweet spot. Nearly perfect changes, meaning when you step into the premium world. Here, you're not just buying transportation, you're buying quiet, comfort, and the feeling that your vehicle reduces stress. That's why the Lexus NX Hybrid 2026 earns this spot. It's one of the most complete small luxury SUVs for people who want efficiency and a premium experience. The NX 350h pairs a 2.5-liter four-cylinder with electric motors for a total of 240 horsepower. It's not a sports SUV, and Lexus isn't pretending it is. The goal is smoothness, calmness, and quiet confidence. It's the kind of hybrid that makes traffic feel less annoying. Then there's the NX 450h Plus plug-in hybrid, which brings the nearly perfect cheat code for certain drivers: electric range. The NX plug-in offers about 37 miles of EV-only driving depending on conditions, which is enough to cover many commutes without using gas if you actually charge it. And the plug-in system is rated around 302 horsepower in many spec summaries, which means it feels meaningfully stronger than the regular hybrid. This is where the Lexus NX becomes a strategic buy. You can choose the version that matches your lifestyle. If you want simplicity and excellent fuel economy, the NX 350h is the calm choice. If you can charge at home and your daily drive fits the EV range, the NX 450h Plus can feel like you're living in the future without committing to a full EV. The trade-off? It's not the roomiest SUV in the segment, and it's not the most exciting to drive hard. But nearly perfect doesn't mean fastest. It means easy to love daily. And the NX Hybrid 2026 is one of the best examples of that. Number 3. Mazda CX-5 2026. The driver's nearly perfect SUV. Here's where nearly perfect becomes emotional, because some SUVs can be smart purchases and still feel boring. The Mazda CX-5 2026 is the SUV for buyers who want to feel proud every time they drive it, not just relieved they made a responsible decision. Mazda revealed the all-new CX-5 for 2026 with a clear strategy, refinement, space improvements, and a more premium cabin experience, without turning it into a luxury brand price tag. At launch, Mazda lists a 2.5-liter Skyactiv G four-cylinder, producing 187 horsepower and 185 lb-ft of torque, paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission and standard iActive all-wheel drive. That powertrain combo matters because it avoids a complaint many people have in this class: CVT rubber band driving feel. The CX-5 feels more direct, more composed, and more connected. And one major update that's easy to understand: the turbo engine is gone for this generation. That tells you Mazda is prioritizing smoothness and refinement over chasing headline horsepower. Some buyers will miss the turbo, but many will appreciate a lineup that feels simpler and more cohesive. Another reason experts love the CX-5 formula is the cabin experience. Mazda consistently aims for a premium without being pretentious vibe. That matters because the cabin is where ownership satisfaction is decided. If you sit in your SUV every day and it feels cheap or awkward, the regret builds quietly. Now, the honest trade-off: if your #1 priority is maximum rear seat space, the CX-5 historically hasn't been the biggest in the class. Mazda's 2026 redesign is specifically aimed at improving this. But if you need huge rear seat room for tall adults, you should still test it with your real passengers. So who is this nearly perfect for? The buyer who wants a mainstream SUV that feels like a personal upgrade, refined driving, premium-ish cabin, and a cohesive powertrain. If you're the type who cares how a car feels, not just what it costs, the CX-5 2026 belongs near the top. And stay with me, because the next two picks are the ones that most shoppers end up choosing between. And understanding that choice is how you avoid buying the wrong, perfect SUV. Number 2. Toyota RAV4 Hybrid 2026. The benchmark that everyone chases. The RAV4 is one of the most important SUVs on the planet. And for 2026, it becomes even more serious because Toyota moves it toward a hybrid-only lineup in many reports. That's Toyota basically saying, we're done pretending the future isn't hybrid. Here's what matters mechanically. The RAV4 Hybrid 2026 is commonly listed at up to 236 horsepower in AWD form, giving you the balance people actually want: strong efficiency without feeling slow. Then there's the version that makes the RAV4 feel like a weapon, the RAV4 Plug-in Hybrid 2026. Toyota promotes up to 320 combined system net horsepower, and some tests and summaries list it slightly higher depending on measurement and final numbers. But the point is the same: it's 320 plus horsepower in a compact SUV. It also targets a claimed electric range around 50 miles, which, if you charge consistently, can transform your fuel costs. Why is it nearly perfect? Because it's one of the most complete do-everything compact SUVs. Efficiency, practicality, resale strength, and a powertrain reputation that makes people feel safe spending the money. But here's the truth that separates smart buyers from lazy buyers. The RAV4's biggest enemy is not reliability, it's complacency. If you buy it without test-driving rivals, you might miss an SUV that fits you better emotionally. Some people drive a CX-5 and realize they want refinement. Some drive a CR-V and realize they want balance and comfort. The RAV4 is the benchmark, but it's not automatically the best for everyone. So if you want the SUV that holds value, offers hybrid strength, and feels like the safe bet in the modern era, the RAV4 Hybrid 2026 is a nearly perfect pick. Just don't buy it blindly, because the #1 pick is the one that often feels like the best of all worlds, and it's the SUV that makes people say, this is the one I can keep. Number 1. Honda CR-V Hybrid 2026. the complete package. If you asked experts to design a compact SUV that almost nobody would regret, you'd get something very close to the Honda CR-V Hybrid 2026. This is the SUV that keeps winning comparison tests because it doesn't just do one thing well, it does everything well enough that the weaknesses don't bother most owners. That's what nearly perfect really means. Mechanically, the CR-V Hybrid uses a 2.0-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder paired with Honda's 2-motor hybrid system, producing 204 total system horsepower and 247 lb-ft of torque from the electric motor. That torquey number matters because it explains why the CR-V Hybrid feels strong in daily driving. It moves with less effort in traffic, it pulls smoothly at low speeds, and it generally avoids the strained feeling some smaller SUVs get when you load them up. Honda also keeps a non-hybrid option for buyers who want a simpler entry point, a 1.5-liter turbo making 190 horsepower and 179 lb-ft of torque, paired with a CVT. But the hybrid is the star because it matches the CR-V's personality. Smooth, calm, efficient, and confident. Here's the part that makes it number one. The CR-V Hybrid doesn't force you to choose between comfort and efficiency or space and refinement. It's roomy enough to function as a real family SUV, refined enough to feel grown up, and efficient enough to feel smart when gas prices swing. And the ownership psychology matters too. Many people buy a car, then slowly start noticing annoyances. Rough ride, loud cabin, confusing tech, awkward seats. The CR-V Hybrid is designed to avoid that slow burn regret. It's not trying to be edgy, it's trying to be excellent at the stuff you live with. So if you want one compact SUV for 2026 that feels like the safest long-term decision without feeling like a boring sacrifice, this is it. Now do the smart move. Test drive your top two choices back-to-back on the same day. Same roads, same traffic, same mood. Don't let your brain fall back into brand reputation. Let the drive tell you the truth. If this list helped you shop smarter, subscribe to Royer Motors and comment which SUV you think is the most nearly perfect for your life.